New Adventures is Matthew Bourne's large-scale touring dance company, and Bourne is the charitable arm of New Adventures. Dance for Life came about through an introduction to Barbara Stevens, the Chief Executive of Dementia Pathfinders, with a challenge really to us at New Adventures and Reborn to see whether or not we could deliver a project using dance to improve the lives and the well-being of older people living with dementia.
Dementia Pathfinders is a specialist organisation, so all of our associates are experts in the field of dementia care, and what we're able to bring to the project is that specialist expertise, so we can help to prepare dancers to come into a care home setting and provide training in communication, in how to respond to behaviours that people with dementia might demonstrate, and to engage meaningfully with people so that they can get the very best from this programme.
I've been a dementia specialist for 18 years. And I like to find and explore different ways that the residents become engaged. There is a tradition where people with dementia have a label that says I can't do, and I think it's important for relatives and for the staff to realise the residents can do a lot more than we credit them for.
Professional dancers have a certain degree of extraordinary sensitivity and ability to understand what's happening in a room. They understand when people are feeling or looking vulnerable, and so we're really committed as we go forward to continuing to use professional dancers from the company to deliver Dance for Life.
I think the dancers are, because of the training they have, are able to adapt and be flexible in how they work with the residents, which for me is a skill that in fact not anyone can really do, and they are doing it really very well.
So a normal session would start with the residents coming into the room, usually with some music playing, and the same format each week, so it starts to feel familiar each time they come. The next thing would be to start a warm-up. Quite often we would use something like a balloon as an icebreaker, so we would relax everyone, people would laugh as we throw the balloon across the space. It's a very instinctive movement that people have when a balloon comes towards them, they automatically want to hit it, so it's a nice thing without having to explain too much. And then move on to some rep from the New Adventures repertoire. And then coming up to standing and going into some kind of partner dance. This would often lead to quite a free-form jiving and all sorts of things that the residents themselves would often add and bring to the session. And then we would finish off with something more gentle, sitting back down again, maybe some musical instruments, maybe a ball that gets kicked around, and then a goodbye moment for the residents.
This project is very effective. It helps develop the skills of the workforce. So our dementia facilitators can work with care staff engaged with the project to help them reflect on what's worked well and how they can improve their skills beyond the programme and in the care setting more widely.
There are over 17,000 care homes across the UK, so there's an awful lot that we could be doing. And we've just heard the most extraordinary stories about how some older people who hadn't even been standing are up and dancing, people using language like "I've got my mum back."
I was very pleasantly surprised about how engaged my mum was. I hadn't actually seen any of the earlier sessions, and mum can be very difficult, she can be very insular, she's very content in her own space, in her own place. She's got very few words, doesn't communicate terribly well at all. So I was really surprised. She was doing some of the actions and the movements and got very involved. I was really quite surprised.
We've got a lot of plans for Dance for Life. One of the plans that I hope will take place is that the reborn dancers will form a training course to train other dancers, and in this way we can expand the whole project. The young dancers with the older people with dementia are just beautiful, and I feel that young people and old people could work very happily together in all sorts of settings, but in dementia somehow it just feels that there's a role for young people in helping old people, and I think for the future that's where I would like to go. In fact, there's something brilliant about seeing one of the ladies flirting with one of the young male dancers. And I think just to bring a sparkle back into the people living with dementia, we know it's not a cure, but we just want so many more people living with dementia to live as peacefully, as without anxiety, and happily and joyfully as they possibly can.
This seemed an amazing opportunity to link music and movement, of which there's a lot of cognition and memories linked to, and see how the residents would respond to it.
I think at the beginning there was something about, how do I work with somebody who has dementia? Whereas now I see, it doesn't define them. It's who they are.